You still don't know? Man, go ask your daddy.
So you kind of got some parts that came in and I mocked it up because I just couldn't leave well enough alone. I had to just make sure everything was in the box, really, is what it was. Let's see here. Let go. So, this is a GM Performance Just Crate LS3. It was the 480/295. So I don't know why they do it that way. They're like, it's 480, but it makes 295 horse. But the 525 makes 525 horse, and the one that's 430 makes 430 horse. I don't understand the whole 480/495. I don't get it. But anyways, everything you see here, I'm gonna paint Pontiac light blue. I'm still torn on the intake, if I leave the intake aluminum or if I paint it. I don't know. That's a lot of blue. It's not unheard of, you know, and I'm not trying to fool anybody. It's not like I'm trying to fool anyone with like this kit to make this engine look like a freaking Pontiac 400. It never will. But it'd be kind of cool when people like look at it and then do a double take and go, oh, that's an LS. That's kind of what I'm going for, right? All right, guys, so I went over the motor engine again, kind of just spun it around, got as many oil drips out of there as I could, hit it with brake clean to try and clean out the top of the heads here, just so I'm not dealing with oil when I'm flipping this thing around, which although I probably will a little bit, but it is what it is. Got it all cleaned up, got the water pump getting cleaned up. I am going to paint that the same light blue, Pontiac blue. And I'm going to start getting this engine taped on the top here. Get the top end tape. I'm going to flip it. And then I'm going to pull the metal prep etching out and start etching it. So. One of the things that I did was I cleaned off the top of these real well with brake clean so the tape would stick. When I did the tape on here, I did the same thing and it stuck real well. This doesn't seem to want to be sticking. Come on now. There we go. Come on. Okay, that side stuck. This side didn't. And I tell you what, this is fun. All right, let me get some brake clean. This Traveler stuff right here, don't buy it. It's like $4.29 in a can, but it lasts about 30 seconds. So, in my trash can. Gotta have a trash can nearby or I throw shit on the floor and I gotta pick it up anyways, just like that. But yeah. This stuff is shit. Doesn't work bad, but there's like 3 drops in it. Remember, I just hit this whole thing with that after 3 degreasing washes. Push yourself and keep going over this. Okay, maybe this side is where they want me to start. How about it? Yep, that was the problem. See, I started on the wrong side. I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to detail all that out. Anyways, let's speed this whole thing up. All right, the only other thing I'm going to do is I'll show you a technique. I'm sure you're aware of it. If not, now you are. If we're doing a bolt, easiest way, like this knock sensor here, put that baby on. And then with a hammer, lightly tap the edges. And that's that. I'm going to get the rest of this engine done, and I'll bring you back when it's finished. All right, guys, I got it all taped off. The more I mess with this, oh, I got spottiness right there. Sharp razor blades. That's the key. And put that right there. Take 2. All right. I flipped this thing over and the oil was dripping down and whatever. And dude, I'm just keeping it up. I'm going to use my wheel, my my little thing I go under my car with. I'll just paint it that way. I'm gonna take spark plugs out too after I do the acid etch. But that's what's next, is metal prep. I bought a gallon of this, I bought a gallon of the degreaser. I probably could have got away with a quart of this for what I did with the frame and everything else. One thing I'll tell you is brush it. Brush it. Get a little chip brush, put it in here, brush it on. This shit is, I got it on my arms, I still have kind of like chemical-y burns and stuff. So anyways, just kind of dab it on, brush it on. You want to keep it wet for like 15-20 minutes. But I bought a gallon of this. I didn't need that, but a quart would have done. But I did use almost all the degreaser because I degreased under my car with it too. So it worked really well. You cut it 4-to-1. So really, a gallon of degreaser is 1 gallon, or excuse me, a gallon of degreaser is 4 gallons of actual degreaser for use. This you do not cut. This goes straight. So I'll kind of show you what I do here. Get this out of my way. I'll bring this guy over here so you can see. Got this ready to go. But really all you're doing, you don't need a lot. You just kind of dab it on. Just be careful. Don't go real fast because it'll splash on your face. I did that on the rear end and it got on my face and I had to go in and flush my face. Just don't do it. Take your time. It's the consistency of water, so you really, oh shit, I gotta tape those guys. Ay, ay, ay. I swear, the taping never ends. Nope, it's all right. Just a little more. All right, got a little walk like the Egyptian, walk like an Egyptian in my head. Listen to the 80s channel. All right, so this is what you do. I'm not gonna worry about all these marking, you know, getting those all taped off because the bolts will be just fine going through there. Because I got like my AC condenser goes here and other brackets mount here. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just painting it. I'm not going to get it in the threads, but I'm brushing it, so it'll be fine. This is the first time I've brushed an engine. I've always painted it. But anyways, you get the gist of it. It's basically like frickin' painting with a liquid. Not like paint, but like literally like painting with water. So just really be careful not to get going too fast and splash your face because you will not like it. I did not. And just if there's any bare metal, this is going to etch it. I'm not really worried about like a lot of the cast stuff. That did real well. The thing that I'm kind of worried about are the front of these heads and stuff where it's real smooth in this. So I'm going to make sure I keep those etched up real nice or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know how much you want to watch me putting an invisible liquid. It's kind of purple. But this is it. And it says keep it wet for 20 to 30 minutes. It's already running down this cardboard. The other thing it says on the bottle is that you can reuse it. So I'm assuming what they mean is like, they say that you can just dip your parts. Like let's say you're doing bolts or something. You could just put this in put them in a bath in like a liquid, like a container like this. If I had little bolts, I could put them in there. It says it's reusable. So I'm not super worried about like taking it off of here and putting it on there. That's what it says on the bottle anyways. But all right, so there you go. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the whole engine, every exposed part. But as you can see, I got everything masked off that I do not want to get paint on. including my sensors and everything else. The one thing you got to keep in mind is this pour 15 just doesn't come off. I've got a dot somewhere on my arm. Maybe it's the other one. It's the other one. I've got a dot that I've had for, 5 days now. It just won't come off. So just keep that in mind when you're painting. If you're like, oh, I'll be careful, well, fair enough, but if it gets on, it ain't coming off. And then also, I am not using this to put the paint on with. These chip brushes, the bristles come off like crazy, and I just don't want that in my paint. If you don't care, your engine will look good from my house, I guess, as they say, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use a quality brush. Quality brush, as in like a $5 brush I can throw away. Once I get it all done, the last thing I'll tell you before, because the next time I cut you on, I'll be painting. When I cut you on, I'll be painting. But it says, let the engine dry thoroughly. One of the things that helps is using a blow hose. That's what I do. And then it also says, rinse thoroughly. So once I'm done with this, once I've got this all soaked up and it's sat for 20 minutes, I am going to hit it with my trusty, oh, here it is, with my pump spray full of water. So I'll hit that, I'll soak it down with water one last time. I'll probably won't like douse it, and then I'll hit it with a air hose. So anyways, there you go. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm getting ready to pour 15. They say stir it, don't shake it, but all right. And then it also says not to paint out of the can, just because I guess it dries and whatever. That's what we're working with right there. So, I'm gonna put it in a little lid here. The other thing I'm going to attempt to do is paint the back of this and paint this, the front, and then I'm going to install the water pump so I can paint it all as one piece. I feel like it's going to look better that way. Who knows, it might be a disaster, but I've got everything set up to do it, so let's get after it. One thing I learned from the rear end is to just go with light coats. This one here, I don't know if I'll be able to put a heavier coat on in between these two here. The other thing I learned is kind of dabbing, especially when you're on like a cast material. You want to dab it on. Actually, I might wait to do that on the second coat, but then I got to do the front, so I don't know. I'll decide here as I'm doing this. I'm gonna paint the water neck too. Obviously I'm not gonna paint where the hose goes, but I'm gonna paint up to it. Yeah, I might have to rethink my plan, because this is just not covering on the first coat, which is okay. I guess it would be all right because it'll kind of be hidden back there, but I don't know. I've definitely taken my time prepping. So anyways, we'll speed you guys up because, as they say, watching paint dry sucks. Alright guys, it's been about 2 hours since I started. This is where I started here, and what they say is you got to feel kind of a finger drag. That's dry to the bone. Even on the smoother surfaces, it's not tacky or anything. It's dry to the kind of like a finger drag. You feel like a resistance. I'm sure over here that was done maybe an hour and a half ago. Hour and 15 minutes. But I'm going to start in the same sequence. I'm going to go here. I decided not to put the water pump on. I'm just going to paint it sitting here, getting good coverage. So we should be all right. But in any event, I'll bring you guys along. And I'm telling you what, on these smooth surfaces, the runs, it's just really hard to control. This looks all right. But again, I got a little bit of heat into this with my bullet heater before I started. And that this is a thinner material. And of course, these heads have a lot of mass to them. So they probably weren't as warm. I hit it on all sides. So, so far so good. So I'm going to hit it again. All right, I just got started here. And you can see this is where we started. And then this is the second coat, kind of left that. This is a smooth surface, and that's what I typically have the trouble with this Pour 15, but it's going on real good. Getting a little in the threads there, and who knows, maybe I'll have to chase it down with the tap, but it is what it is. I'm not going to tape every stupid hole. But, and this is the paint from earlier. I had it covered, but in a baggie. But you can go a little thicker on your second coat. All right, guys. I'm going to bring you in here again. Just show you. I hit this side. You can see what kind of coverage I got. They say 2 coats is what it'll take. I believe them. Right here, I got the timing cover, and I haven't done any of this side yet, so you can kind of see. You can see what we're dealing with here. So I'll probably have the same up here. That coverage will come back after I get this second coat on there. So I'm gonna keep at it. All right, guys, so I've wrapped up the painting, and I'm getting some sags up front. I expected that, but the water pump's gonna be there. You're not even gonna see it. I was more concerned with the front of these heads. That's kind of dark. You can't really see. But yeah, it's gonna be Pontiac blue for sure. I mean, that sumbitch is blue. But when you kind of look at it and contrast it against the car, I'm super excited. It's got great coverage. They say 2 coats is about what it'll take, and that's what it'll take. I will tell you now, this is my 3rd experience with Pour 15, doing the frame, then doing the rear axle, and now doing the engine. I would say this, probably start with your axle or start with something like that. Go lighter coats and then heavy. I kind of slopped it on this second coat here, but it took it. This is the only spot that I really have any issues, and like I said, that's going to be covered. Valley pan looks fine, or valley cover. I've got a Holley Terminator going in, so this is going to get changed. That's why I didn't bother taping that off. But I'll pull all the masking off tomorrow, and I'll let you guys see what she looks like dry. But yeah, very happy with the results.